Oh, wait. The next one's better. Ready? Floaty Bois. Hello, and welcome to Dependence Belaning, the podcast. Welcome back. Another episode. Here we are again. I am Jen.
Hi, Jen. I am Veronica.
Hi, Veronica.
And we finally made it to our final destination on this crazy trip that is a PCS. Yay!
Yeah, crazy trip, no lie. That's just putting it mildly.
I know. It was a headache. It still continues to be a headache. We are in ROM. It's the last leg of ROM. For those of you who don't know what ROM is restriction of movement. Movement? I said movement. Restriction of movement. And so we're basically confined to the house, quarantined, if you will. And yeah. We only have 4 days left of this bullshit, and then we're free. We're free to explore because I'm sick of staring at these walls of this prison, and my family's driving me bananas. And if I have to sleep on this full-size bed with my husband one more night, I'm going to strangle him with my bare hands.
We have four nights? 4 more nights.
4 more nights of his bullshit. You know how many times I've woken up with his elbow directly in front of my eye, like, because the way he sleep. And then the other day I thought he was being cute with me, and like he had his hand draped over my head and he was like caressing my head, and I was like, oh, that was sweet. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that his hand was just twitching and it happened to be on top of my head. He is not being romantic. He's just trying to find more room on this bed. Like, yeah. So. But yeah, we're in the home stretch. We're almost free, and then we can start looking for a house that we're gonna live in, not this place. I don't want to live here anymore. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on with me, Jen. What's going on with you?
Nice. I mean, not as exciting as your life right now. Let me tell you. There's it rained today.
Oh wow, we had nothing but sunshine today.
Yeah, I was in the pre-K class. We were about to go out to recess. We got all of them lined up. We had 9 children today. 9. And normally we only have like 5 to 6. Mm-hmm. But we had 9. It was a lot. But we got them all lined up. We were ready to go. We turned to look out the window and it is pouring rain.
Oh,
we're like, okay, we're staying inside, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, kids.
So, it was 5 minutes of rain. That literally was it. 5 minutes of rain.
Yeah.
Everything was soaked. Couldn't go outside.
Oh, no.
That was it. Yeah.
We had a day like that yesterday. Like, rained pretty much all day yesterday. So, we were stuck in the house. It's like, it's not like we can do anything anyways, other than go out, into the yard like we're cattle and just walk around the fence. Mooing at the people that walk by. Moo.
Roaming around your backyards, watching all the free people.
All the free people that take their freedom for granted. Just walking around and frolicking and smiling. And we're like, what's that like? What's that like? Because we're just stuck in here. What's it like sleeping in your normal bed, in your own bed that you own? And yeah, what's it feel to not be in and out of 5 hotels so far? Huh? What's that feel like? Yeah. Still 1 yet to go. We have 1 more to go.
1 more.
1 more. TLF before we can find a house.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. But I got to have Chili's the other day, and that was the highlight. That was the highlight of this entire thing, I swear. I haven't had Chili's since we left the America back in 2017. So probably before that, because, I mean, really, how often does one have Chili's? We took it for granted.
Not very often.
No.
Again, taken for granted.
Yes, taken for granted, exactly. So I was like, they have a Chili's here. You know how good their chips are? was like, let's get some chips and salsa. So we ordered a bunch of food, and we were just so excited to be eating at our stupid dining table. Our friends that are here went and grabbed it or picked it up for us and brought us some, as well as some like Japanese alcoholic beverages that I was like, what is this? Sugary sweetness, delicious heaven in my mouth right now. So I could see those in my future, and they're dangerous. So, but
they
yeah,
are.
But yeah, chips and salsa from Chili's. You should be our sponsor because yum, just melt in your mouth.
Freaking good. Yeah, there's a Chili's here, and I still have yet to go.
Really?
Yeah. I need to.
Yeah, you should. Chips and salsa.
I miss it. I know.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I know. Yeah. I don't know what it is about their chips. There's an On the Border too. Remember On the Border?
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. So good. They had the commissary had their package of chips stocked for like maybe 2 days, and then they were gone. But we happened to grab a bag. Yeah.
During Super Bowl.
It was delicious.
Yeah. We grabbed a bag too when we were still in the UK because I was like, oh yes, it's Super Bowl. It's coming up. This is what it is. Let's get some chips. And
yeah,
I think we were in TLF getting ready to leave, and then I think we had like nacho cheese or something from whatever.
I'm pretty sure the shipment of those came very late because they just got here last week. Yeah. The shipment of those chips. Yeah, because they always have such a huge variety of different chips that they don't normally stock.
Yeah. They're so delicious. Welcome to the podcast where we just talk about food all the time. Forget your dependa-splaining. We're just going to talk about food. And food, and how food affects us, and how it motivates us. All the good stuff.
Yeah, because a dependa gotta eat.
Yeah. If you have a recipe, why don't you send it to us and we'll try it? Why don't you email us at despenda... dependasplaining@gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Oh my god. So I keep trying to tell Kyle something's 230,000. I keep trying to tell him that, and I can't say it. He looks at me like I'm an idiot. I was like, I don't know why my tongue gets tied, and I want to say 230. I can't say 230,000 for some reason. When I'm looking at him, I want to be like 23,000, 2,300, 2,300. I don't know how much it is. And he's like, why can't you say it? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I can't read these numbers, okay? Any number. I'm like, 230,000. I kept trying to tell him. He's like, why can't you say it? I was like, I don't know. So that's despenda-splaining. Anyways. Yeah.
What was that? What was the thing we talked about yesterday? We were like, they should sponsor us. Mixed tiles.
Mixed tiles.
I was trying to think about it as we were talking about food, and you're like, we should be sponsored by Chili's, and I was like, oh, we did talk about something that should sponsor.
Yeah, mixed tiles. I was looking at their website today, and they have some deals going on, but I was like, okay, I need to order some. This episode is not brought to you by Mixed Tiles, but we wish it would be.
But it feels like it should be, because half of my living room walls are covered in mixed tiles right now. They're wonderful.
I think it's a good option for one who moves a lot in the military and any housing really that you're renting, obviously, because you're not putting holes on the wall that you're going to have to patch up later, and then your landlord's like, not good enough, and then they have a special paint mixture that doesn't match whatever you bought at the hardware store. So it's just going to save you some headaches with the little sticky tabs that they have in the back, because they're reusable, which I find very, very convenient.
It's nice. And that too is like, if you're not very good at hanging things and you don't have the patience to, make sure it's level, make sure it's in the right spot and, spread out or whatever. My husband's very, neurotic about that. So we measured everything. But on my own, I just stick things on the walls and call it good. So, if it's a little crooked or if it's not quite where you need it to be, you literally can pull it off the wall and stick it back on and it will stay.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
I am very neurotic. I need everything to be evenly spaced out and leveled. And there's this one picture in our hallway in our house in England that was not leveled with the other ones, and I had moved it like 4 times, and it bothered me. It still bothers me to this day, even though that picture frame is gone, and I donated it. And it still bothers me. I lost so many picture frames because, in the summertime, everything melted off the walls.
I know, right?
Yeah. This is a PSA. If you're living in England, your shit's going to melt off the walls if it's hanging with command hooks.
Yes. The command strips will just melt and sweat and they will fall off your
See,
walls.
I found the strips were much better than the hooks because I guess they were bigger maybe and they held more. But the hooks, the little tabs, they just would fall right off. And I would lose picture frames in the middle of the night. I'd wake up to like a clattering of picture frames and then I'd see the damage the next day. So I just gave up. Like this last year, I just gave up. Anything that fell, I wouldn't put it back. I'm like, whatever. You're dead to me. You're dead to me, picture frame. You're not going back on the wall.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, Jen. You ready to get started?
I'm so ready.
Okay. All right, Jen. So for you, I have today a very interesting story. I have so much information. I have found so much information on this that it was a little overwhelming, but I think we could do it. So I have for you the Tailhook Scandal.
Ooh. I love scandals.
I love scandals too. Yeah. This one's crazy one. So I got most of my information from Wikipedia, an article on the Los Angeles Times, a small article on wisegeek.com, newsweek.com, New York Times, the San Diego Union Tribune, and scholarship.law.duke.edu, and britannica.com. So it was all pieced together by these articles. So here we go, the Tailhook Scandal. So it starts off like this. September 7th, 1991. Where were you in 1991, Jen? Teetering around your house, you little toddler baby?
Yeah, I was probably still in like diapers or pull-ups, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 91. Yeah.
I was in like first grade.
Yeah.
Or second grade.
Not. Yeah,
maybe
89,
grade.
90. I was 3, depending on what month.
September.
I was 2, almost 3.
God, I was like 8 years old. Whatever. Moving on. Okay, so September 7th, 1991, the Hilton Las Vegas, Nevada is host to the 35th Annual Tailhook Convention. Navy Lieutenant Paula Coughlin emerges from an elevator on the 3rd floor. She notices Navy and Marine pilots hanging out in the hallway, doesn't think anything of it. After all, they're all there for this convention, right? So, but she was most definitely not expecting what happened next. As she's walking through the hallway, a man yells, "Admiral's Aid!" And they all join in chanting, "Admiral's Aid, Admiral's Aid." Coughlin is then grabbed from behind and lifted up in the air and propelled forward. Coughlin is loudly objecting, and a man reached around from behind, embraced her in a tight hug. They both fell to the ground. He tried to stick his hand down her shirt. She bit his hands and arms, and he released her. At that moment, someone reached into her crotch and tried to yank her panties.
Oh my God.
Yes, so she was bombarded with pinching and grabbing and groping. So she broke free. And she tried to enter a doorway on one of the hospitality suites, but 2 men standing nearby moved and blocked her way. So she kept proceeding down the hallway. Coughlin asked an older man for help. She's like, "I need help." Like she kept saying, "I need help. Like these guys are groping me." He responded by placing his hands on her breast. So she spotted another doorway nearby that was open. She lunged inside and found the suite to be empty. And she collapsed, weeping into a chair. So that is how we're going to get started here.
Wow.
Yes. Navy Lieutenant Paula Coughlin was a CH-53 helicopter pilot, currently serving as an aide to Rear Admiral Jack Snyder at Naval Air Station Patuxent River in Maryland. She would be one of many to shed light on the annual activities that took place at the Tailhook Convention. So I will tell you about the Tailhook Convention and what it is. Now, the Tailhook Association is named after the hook that hooks, for lack of a better word, onto the aircraft as it landing on a carrier out at sea. So you see it like in movies, it like hooks onto. So that's why it's named after. So it began in 1956 as an informal club for Navy and Marine aviators, pilots and aircrew who met once a year to socialize and swap stories. And by 1963, the annual event had grown in popularity and attendance, and it like moved to San Diego to the Sands Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. In 1960, and the convention relocated to Las Vegas Hilton, which became its home until 1991. So they were very comfortable there at the Hilton in Las Vegas holding this convention. And it brought a lot of revenue to the whole place, right? So over time, the Tailhook Association attained semi-official status with the U.S. military. It started as just a gathering for them to shoot the shit, but then they all started gathering, so then it became something kind of official. And they were even given rent-free office space at Naval Air Station Miramar. And the annual conventions featured forums, presentations, symposiums on military aviation and operations. Officers were allowed to attend on official duty, so they were like TDY instead of before when they would just take leave and have it be like a extracurricular thing for them to attend. It became an official thing, but they were allowed to dress in their civilian clothes. They didn't have to wear their uniforms. So senior officers and defense DoD officials, including flag officers as well as defense contractors, also became regular attendants. The DoD often provided military aircraft for the attendants to travel to the conference. In 1991, 96% of the Tailhook Association's 14,000 members were male, reflecting the number in the Naval Air Fleet, in which out of the nearly 10,000 pilots and aircrew, 177 were women, and only 27 of them were flying a jet aircraft. What's wrong with that number? What is wrong with that number?
Yeah.
The convention was going to be like the biggest one yet, right? Because the Gulf War had just taken place earlier that year, and they had about 11 hours worth of presentations to give to the 4,000 attendees. Attendees? Why does this sound so funny? Sorry. Attendance. Anyways. So among the presenters, they had 3 of 8 Navy and Marine pilots who were shot down and captured by Iraq. They were going to give a presentation on their experience. Overall, it seemed that it would be a really informative convention. What happened. They were going to talk about what happened, how did it happen, what can we improve, how do we improve, whose dick is bigger, blah, blah, blah. Regular shit like that. So on the afternoon of Saturday, September 7th, a session called the Flag Panel took place, drawing an estimated 1,500 attendants. This was a tradition at the conference. It consisted of a panel of flag officers answering questions on any topic from the attendants. So the 1991 session was chaired by Senior Naval Aviator, so his official title, the Assistant Chief of Naval Operations, or Vice Admiral Richard Dunleavy. He was accompanied by 7 other admirals and 1 Marine general. One of the questions that was asked during the panel happened to be by a female, and she wanted to know when women would be allowed to fly in combat jets. Her question was met with booing and laughter before the question was even answered. So I watched the video on it. It was really disturbing too. So the Assistant Chief of Naval Operations, Vice Admiral Richard Dunleavy, as we mentioned before, he answered, quote, "If Congress directs SecNav, or the Secretary of the Navy, to allow qualified women to fly combat aircraft, we will comply," end quote. And again, that answer itself was also met with more booing and laughter. So it was just, a joke to them. They didn't believe that women had a place in aviation or really in the military outside of the medical field. They were like, they should be nurses and that's it. And making babies and staying in the kitchen and
rude
ironing our flight suits. And I'm like, iron your own flight suit, you stupid bitch. Yeah, good luck getting that pen mark out of there. Quit leaving your stupid pens in your sleeves.
Yeah, quit leaving them in all your millions of pockets, 230,000 pockets.
Yeah, good luck at your meeting when you find out that my chonies are stuck to all your 5,000 Velcro pockets. Okay, so now the party begins for these pigs with ranks, really. So the Tailhook Association, like I said, it was named after the hook that grabs planes when they land on carrier decks. And they had been meeting annually for more than 3 decades for these type of events. They did all this, the presentations. I'm emphasizing with my hand in a big circle for Jen, just so she knows. It's just going round and round.
So I can see.
Presentations and discussions, these panels, and then a banquet. And then they got started for them. They were going to socialize, network and stuff. However, it just got out of hand. Unofficially, it was like an animal house. It became an animal house. Officially, members, they're to socialize and learn about advanced in aviation technology, but unofficially, it's become animal house. An animal house where strippers, performances, and porn films in the 3rd floor hospitality suites take place.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep. So
what?
So they would hire strippers to perform for them, and then some of them would perform extracurricular activities outside of the stripping, aka sex work. So.
Oh my! Excuse?
Yes.
What?
There was pictures and videos being done. So.
What in the actual fuck?
So let me tell you, the hospitality suites, they were hosted by like various squadrons in order to accommodate personnel attending the convention. These hospitality suites, it was basically the entire one floor of the hotel, right? And the squadrons would pay for them. And they weren't like, hey, go buy yourself, some sex workers and get freaky. They were like, this is for the convention. This is for your comfort in order to attend the convention. They didn't know, or at least they pretended not to know.
They're saying they don't know what. Here's a whole floor of this hotel room for your convention.
Wink,
do as you please.
Wink. Yeah.
Yeah. Do as you may.
Yeah. Every year was the same, and the Hilton Las Vegas would be the venue for this debauchery, and the 3rd floor was the main stage. So like I mentioned before, they would hire strippers and as well as sex workers where, of course, activities of sexual nature would occur. There was also drinking, body shots, butt biting. B-U-T-T. Apparently this was a thing among a certain squadron in the Marines that had dated back like 20 years, and they just carried over into the Tailhook convention where they would bite each other's asses. Hey, I have an idea. Let's just bite each other's asses for fun, said one guy.
The biggest mark
on
somebody's butt cheek.
Yeah. Let's see who has the straightest teeth that leaves these dental marks on your butt cheeks. Yeah, this was among men and women, but mostly the men.
Yeah, of course, because they're weird.
Yeah.
Only men would think of something like that. Yeah, Veronica, please bite my ass cheek. Leave your teeth.
Yes.
Teeth marks in there.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Ew.
Ouchie.
Ew. Why would anyone want to put their face in another man's butt? You know how smelly they are? Come on.
Yes.
And it's probably hairy.
It's probably
gross.
hairy. It's probably pimply from sitting down all day. Yeah. It's probably got some skid marks in there.
It can't smell good, guys.
I don't know.
Come
this was something that had spanned, like I said, for 20 years among one of the squadrons in the Marines. Anyways, butt biting.
I want to know who the first person was to think of this
right?
idea. I would love to know.
I have a great idea. Let's bite each other's butts. Let's see who bites harder. And then we'll show other people, and it'll become a thing, and it'll replace the handshake.
Yeah. No more shaking of the hands. Please bite my ass.
Maybe that's what we should do now for COVID instead of elbow bumping. It's like turn around. Turn around and bend over. Watch this.
Let's just become dogs. We'll sniff each other's butts because that's how we say hi.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Huh? Oh, it gets weirder. And
gosh.
So we said butt biting. Also leg shaving.
Yeah. What?
They would shave each other's legs. They would shave these sex workers' legs among their private parts as well. So it reminded me of that scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin where he's super drunk and she's like, let's shave each other. He's like, yeah, I'm going to shave your head. So that became a thing. It gets funnier, Jen. Hang on.
Shaving could be dangerous, especially if it's a man doing it to a woman. Like, they don't know how to, like, shave, especially if you're going to be in the no-no zone. Like,
yeah, it's very delicate down there.
Yeah, you have to be gentle.
Be like, listen, I've already been traumatized down there. You already bit my butt. Now you want to shave my cooter? Like, I don't think so. What else is going to happen? What else are you going to do to me? No, thank you. Hard pass.
Yeah, are you paying me triple for that?
Yeah. How about I let you shave my underarm? I didn't get to it today. Yeah. I'll let you shave my underarm. Maybe my calf, not my ankles, because even I can't do that sometimes. That's a danger zone.
I cut myself every time.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay. Shaving of the
Shaving
hair.
of the body parts. And also, your typical, frat boy streaking and mooning. Yeah. This was, again, the streaking and the mooning was also participated by, like, women would participate in this as well, but it was mostly the men that were all doing this because there was mostly men at these conventions.
Right.
Okay. So the mooning, and then in fact, one of the reports that says that men and the women, they were mooning one time and they were all fucking pressing their asses against this window. The window panel breaks and it fell onto the bottom floor, like to the patio below, where it injured two guests to the point where one of, like, they needed medical treatment. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah. One of them actually was like a teenage girl and she got a concussion from it. Yeah. So luckily it didn't go beyond that.
Pressing their butt cheeks up against this window?
Their butt cheeks with bite marks on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very confusing custom. Like, what?
Oh my goodness, this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, wait. Just you wait.
Oh, gosh.
And then they had another thing. They had another thing called ball walking.
Oh.
So these fuckers would pull their balls through their opening of their pants. And I imagine it was like the button on their pants is still a button, but the zipper's down, so they just have their balls hanging out, exposing their, like, nobody wants to see.
Nobody wants to see that.
I was like, gross. Ball walking. Yeah, and they would walk around like that. They would walk around like that, and they thought it was hilarious.
Hope you shaved that part too, then. Hope that was part of your shaving ritual.
Maybe that's what they were doing. They were airing out the razor burn. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's so ball walk.
What the fuck?
This is a serious matter, but that just made me laugh because I was like, God, these guys were idiots. Like, oh my gosh. But back to serious business here. The most infamous event was one that would take place on like a Friday and Saturday night, and they called it the Gauntlet. This would be where men would, like, line the hallways of the third floor. So, like, they would like stand against the wall and wait for their victims, basically. It was like they would wait for a female to walk by. It was all fair game. No one was off limits, be it officers, contractors, civilian personnel, or just like unsuspecting hotel guests who had nothing to do with the convention. It didn't matter. It was free game. And so the reports that I was reading, they said the gauntlet appeared well organized, even though most of the participants were drunk. When a woman appeared, a scout would shout, "Clear deck," if he considered her attractive enough to molest her. Or he would say, "Wave off," if he thought her too unattractive. The terms are drawn from like the aircraft carrier flight operations, so it's what they say. It's like clear deck or wave off. They would use that in order to translate. It's like, yeah, she cute, or no, she not. Wow. So to pounce on. So many women reportedly were lured unwittingly into the gauntlet by officers who steered them toward it casually. The waiting aviators appeared to arrange themselves so that women would not recognize what they were approaching. This is what the report said. And so when they emerged, one Navy enlisted man told investigators victims looked like they had been through like a pinball machine. So they would walk down the gauntlet, which was the hallway. They called it the gauntlet. They even had like a sign saying the gauntlet and enter at your own risk. They would come in and they would just be groped. They would be attacked. They would be attacked and sexually assaulted, basically.
Yeah.
And they said when they would emerge on the other side, they looked like I'd gone through the pinball machine because they had so many pinch marks and like bruises on them. And some of them had even had like part of their clothes torn off. And they were saying some of the women liked the attention. And I was like, really? Do you think I didn't like that attention? I'm sorry, but no. Nobody likes that attention. When you're being felt kind of up like that, that's just being nervous and not knowing how to react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. So, like eyewitnesses' accounts describe women who had, like I said, parts of their clothing ripped off or removed completely while they were going through the gauntlet. One eyewitness says that one of the females was stripped from the waist down as she was passed overhead through the gauntlet, and then they left her on the hallway floor, just there. They're like, "Here you go. You're naked now. You may go. You're on your way."
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then a female civilian victim said that as she walked up the hallway, at least 7 men attacked her. They pulled down her tube top and grabbed at her exposed breasts while she attempted to cover herself with her arms. She fell to the ground and the assault continued. After a few moments, they stopped their attack and she was allowed to get up from the floor. Like, okay, you're free. We had our fun with you. We felt you up. We humiliated you. You may go. Another report says that a 24-year-old Navy officer related that she was groped and grabbed by 5 or 6 men while 2 male Navy officers whom she knew just stood by and did nothing. They all watched. She's like, these are my comrades. These are supposedly my friends. And they're just watching while all this happens to these women. One victim, a 32-year-old female, reported that she attended Tailhook in 1991 with her husband, who was a Navy officer, her mother, and 2 of her mother's female friends. The report said that as the group walked through the hallway, the victim, who was wearing a formal cocktail dress, was suddenly grabbed around the waist and lifted above the crowd by 2 men. The men lifted the skirt up of her dress like above her waist and pushed their hands between her legs. They also said that her mother was a victim, as well as her mother's friends, who also they also assaulted them in the hallway.
Wow.
Yeah. More than a third of the sex-related assaults reported in private rooms at the convention occurred in suites rented by aviators associated with the El Toro Marine Corps Air Station. Investigators said, this is what they said, that most of them occurred from the Marine Corps station. So in some of these, one of the rooms that they had a centerpiece that was a dildo, and it was like stuck to a large picture of a bull rhinoceros, which was like the squadron's mascot. So the dildo was on this picture, and it was placed on there to where they could drink out of it. I guess it had some sort of thing where they could drink out of it, and they forced women to drink out of this, what they would call the Rhino Spunk, which was a mixture of rum, Kahlua milk, and ice cream and ice. So they would humiliate them by having them drink out of this dildo that was stuck to the rhinoceros picture.
Gross.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So these are the things that would happen at these conventions. So now going back to Paula Coughlin, who was one of the victims that I initially talked about, the first one I talked about, she told her boss, Rear Admiral Snyder, she told him the following day over breakfast. And then Admiral Snyder responded by saying, quote, Paula, you need to stop hanging around with those guys. That's what you've got to expect on the third deck with a bunch of drunk aviators. End quote. That's
really?
Oh, well, that's what you get. Yeah, you should know.
That's basically what he's saying. This is what you get for going and doing these things and being with these people. Are you kidding me?
It's like the equivalent of, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
No, this is not.
None of this is okay. They bite each other's butt cheeks. That's not normal.
In any realm, it's not normal. I don't care.
No. And then they do a horrendous amount of sexual harassment, molestation, whatever, assault of women. Like, that's
assault.
Just what?
Yes, exactly. So that's what she was meant when she told, her boss. Yeah, and he was like, wow. Boys will be boys. So
thanks for the help.
I know. So on September 19th, Captain Robert Parkinson, Snyder's chief of staff. This was Snyder's chief of staff, and Coughlin met with Snyder, so all three of them met, and Coughlin was like, hey, guess what these fuckers did to me? And Snyder then says, I'll take care of it. I'll send a detailed letter about the incident to Dunleavy, who was a member of the panel. Remember, he's the one that was asked a question about women in fighter jets, and he's like, when the SecNav, blah 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 blah. I'm sorry. So on September 30th, so he says, I'm going to send a letter to this guy and we're going to fix this. Like, we're going to take care of it. So September 30th, Coughlin learned that the letter had yet to be even delivered to Dunleavy. She was like, fuck this, I'm going to do this myself. So she gave a copy of the letter to a staff member for the Chief of Naval Personnel, Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Manpower, Vice Admiral Jeremy Michael Bourda. Bourda showed the letter to Dunleavy and Vice Chief of Naval Operations Jerome L. Johnson, who directed Rear Admiral Duval Williams, commander of the Naval Investigative Service, to start a criminal inquiry. Dunleavy called Coughlin to tell her a formal investigation was being ordered and that she would be transferred to Washington, D.C. to help with the investigation. The investigation began October 11th, 1991. So soon after, he got the letter and everything was arranged and it started. On October 11th, some guy in the Marines, the Navy, in the Marines, some important guy, received the letter. In the letter, he addressed the 1991 symposium and he began by saying, without a doubt, it was the biggest and most successful tailhook we have ever had. We said it would be the mother of all hooks, and it was. So that's how he started his letter. His shit sandwich. It was great, but then this happened, but it was great. Yeah. So that's how he started his letter. However, he did address what was happening, and he expressed concern over this whole gauntlet situation. So now copies of Coughlin's letter get out, and the San Diego Union Tribune is the first to publish it, and soon after other newspapers begin to publish it as well, and it brings into question the hidden agenda of the Tailhook Convention itself. Senator John McCain urged the Navy to cut ties with the Tailhook Association and for an immediate investigation to take place. And Senator McCain later wrote a letter to Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff Colin Powell and United States Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney, requesting that an independent commission investigate the matter, but the DoD declined. They're like, nope, we're going to take care of this ourselves with our own people that were probably involved in it as well. It got super political, and it was advised that all services cut ties with the Tailhook in general. Don't be part of this party. On November 10th, 1981, Snyder was relieved from his command. Patuxent River Naval Air, I think I said that right, Naval Air Test Center by Chief of Naval Operations Frank Kelso. And he said it was like for not reacting quickly enough to Coughlin's initial complaint and for saying, that's what you get. Yeah. What were you wearing? You probably deserved it.
Yeah,
no, that's
exactly.
Awful. But it was just, short of that.
Yeah. I mean, basically like the same thing. That's what you're saying. I hate that.
So while the investigation was going on, the Senate Armed Service Committee put a hold on promotions of about 4,500 Navy and Marine Corps officers until it could be determined which ones were associated with the Tailhook Convention. It's like, how do you know? Like, I say everybody who was there was at fault. Every single person, every single guy that was there was at fault for not being able to help. They knew what was going on, or they were just acting dumb, and they should all be held responsible.
Yeah.
So a 7-month investigation by the Naval Criminal Investigation Service and Inspector General uncovered 140 cases of misconduct against 80 to 90 female victims, and there was actually 7 men as well that were victims. During the investigation, Coughlin's credibility was put into question, and she was labeled a slut. I know.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yep. She sued like the hotel for saying like you knew what was going on. You should have been responsible for this. And yeah. So the NIS investigation was also completed on April 28th, 1992, and stated that it had identified 25 victims of sexual assault that had occurred at the convention. 4 suspects were identified: Marine Captain George Bonham for the assault on Coughlin, Marine Lieutenant Colonel Michael S. Fagan for obstruction of justice and making false official statements, Navy Lieutenant Michael Clancy for helping organize the gauntlet, and Royal Australian Air Force Officer Jim Ibbotson for biting women's buttocks, but not for the assault on Coughlin. After the U.S. government informed Australian authorities of the allegations against him, Ibbotson committed suicide. That's awful. Look at the chain reaction to these events. Like, you guys, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after the investigation concluded, the career of 14 admirals and nearly 300 naval aviators were ended or damaged by the scandal. 70 of the cases were dropped almost immediately, and the remainder of the offenders were just lightly punished. Just, a little slap on the wrist. The Navy stopped participating in the Tailhook Symposium in 1991, but they brought it back in 1999. Lieutenant Paula Coughlin sued the Tailhook Association and the Las Vegas Hilton for compensatory damages for emotional distress. Then, citing emotional stress brought on by the lawsuits, she resigned from the Navy in February of 1994. The Tailhook Convention still takes place annually, but as far as we know, it's actually for its intended purpose, and it also includes scholarships. So I wonder if it still gets crazy though, minus the sexual assault. It's crazy, and that is the story of the Tailhook Scandal.
Fascinating. Holy shit.
I know, right?
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That's not what I expected at all.
No, these people are gross.
Yeah.
It infuriates me when I'm a woman, I've been groped before, and it's like, what makes you think that you are allowed to put your disgusting hands on my body like that?
Yeah.
What do you get out of it? What do you think I'm going to turn around and be like, oh yes, take me baby right now? No.
Yeah.
I'm going to be furious and I'm going to want to punch you in the face. And most likely I will punch you in the face. So,
yeah.
I don't know what they were getting out of this. This doesn't prove your manhood. This doesn't prove anything. It just proves that you're a fucking pig for groping, a female or a man for that matter. You shouldn't put your hands on other people's bodies unless they want it.
Exactly. Unless they consent to it. What makes you feel that you're entitled to be touching other people?
Yeah.
And especially in their private areas and it's their body. It's their choice. If they want you to touch it, they would say so. But more than likely, keep your dirty, nasty pig hands to yourself.
Yes,
please.
Keep your dirty, nasty pig hands to yourself. And don't try to humiliate me either. What are we getting? Who wins out of this? Who wins in this situation? Nobody. Nobody's winning because you're just proving you're an asshole and you're making me look bad. You're making yourself look bad.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like, they don't look bad because of the people that they're hanging out with, and that's what they're doing, and everybody thinks it's hilarious, and people keep encouraging everyone else to continue doing it. And so who looks bad? Oh, it's the women. We're the ones, we're victims, but then it's like, oh, you went and cried to blah blah blah. Oh, you probably wanted it. Oh, they're just having fun.
You probably wanted it. Stop. You were asking for it. You walked through there. You knew what you were getting into. No, we didn't.
No. Gosh.
I know.
That's insane. Like, that's just crazy. People are... I still just can't get over the fact that they would bite each other's butt cheeks, too. Like,
I know.
I think because there's just so many other horrible things that I don't want to think about that happen to women there. The butt cheeks, like... Gross. Like, why would you put somebody's butt in your mouth?
Not
like,
just to the women, to each other. They were biting each other.
We're cleaner. Like, come on. We're definitely cleaner.
Yes, absolutely.
But you're sitting on your butt. You sit and you sweat and there's swamp ass and it's gross. And you're going to put that in your mouth? Like,
voluntarily.
Come on.
Bite that. Put that in your mouth.
Why? I wouldn't even I wouldn't even bite my husband's butt. Gross.
My husband bites my butt all the time.
Well, it's like a fun sexual thing for men. Sure.
But I'm like, no.
But, like, I think about his and I'm like, ugh. I know where that thing's been.
Yeah.
In your nasty uniform that you sweat in all day.
Right.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Ew.
I don't want to grab your old man butt.
Keep your balls inside of your pants, please.
Yes. I don't understand. I don't expose my genitalia to get giggles. Why do men think that it's okay to just bring out their balls? I've been at parties many, many years ago where my husband's coworkers would do that in front of us. And I'm like, why? Why is this Who hurt
funny?
You?
Why do you think it is so funny to pull your ball sack out? This nasty, wrinkly thing. Yeah. Hairy and just gross and saggy. Mm-hmm. Gross.
You have taken your balls out and placed them on the table where you eat dinner with your family or where I eat dinner with my family.
Yeah.
And why? Now I have to burn this table to the ground because your balls have been on it. So gross.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Men, this is a PSA for you. Don't touch people without their consent in a sexual manner.
Yes.
A light pat on the back is just fine.
Yes.
Yes, you don't have a right to put your hands on a female body or a man's body for that matter. Just don't. These kinds of situations are disgusting. Nobody's turned on. I'm not impressed. I'm actually impressed at your stupidity if that's what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Jen. It was a really disturbing story, but it did have some elements that made me laugh. That I was like, God, like, so sick.
The stupidity that these boys would do. I'm just in shock. I mean, I know it's probably hear this stuff all the time. Whatever. Boys are weird and they do really weird shit, but it still will never like not be shocking to hear.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Boys are weird. Boys are weird. Yeah. My son will look me dead in the eye and I'm like, what's going on? And he slowly starts lifting his shirt and he'll slowly start sticking his hand under his armpit and he's still looking me dead in the eye. I'm like, what's happening? And then he goes into a chorus of, whatever song was just in his head, but in armpit farts. I'm like, got it. Great.
Boys. Oh, well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was quite interesting, I will say.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Disturbing and interesting all at once, as per usual.
Mm-hmm.
That is our MO.
It's true. That's what we're here for.
Jen, I can't wait for yours. I'm excited. What you told me before we started recording.
Yes. So I found an article on military.com that was talking about the rejected names of the Space Force members. So we all know Space Force is a thing. Space Force. It's now the 6th independent U.S. military service branch that was signed into law on December 20th, 2019.
19?
Not 1900.
No, not in 1900.
Too far away. 2000.
Yes.
In 19. Yeah, so The Space Force falls under the Air Force, like Department of Air Force, just like how the Marine Corps falls under the Department of Navy.
Okay.
But it's still separate, but it falls under them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Makes sense. Airmen, space, you know. But, so you all know, I'm sure everyone already knows, but the official name of a member of the Space Force is called a Guardian.
Of the Galaxy.
I'll get to that. But military.com came out with this article telling us all about the rejected names. Like, they had put out the whole list of the rejected names of the members. And some of them were just, you know, interesting. And so I have a handful of them that I was just like, oh, that's funny.
Okay.
All right. So rejected names, starting with Spaceman or Spacewoman.
Spaceman. I like it. Space Person.
Makes sense. Space Person was on there too.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Troopers.
Troopers?
Mm-hmm.
Why troopers?
Troopers.
Trooper sounds more earthly to me, not spacey.
Well, we'll get around to it.
Okay.
Starman.
Oh, I like it. That's sexy. I'm not gonna lie. What did your husband do? He's a starman.
I know. Some of these are really clever, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Sentries.
No.
Rocketeer.
Oh, that's cute too. Oh, it's so cute. I like it. Rocketeer.
Astros.
Ew, no.
Mikhail would like it, right? He likes what is it? The Astros?
No.
The baseball team, right?
No, that's Texas. We are from California. He likes the Oakland A's, the Athletics.
Oh, the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
The Astros, the A's.
Yeah.
You know.
West Coast.
Jen, go sports.
Go sports.
Whatever.
Yay. I like when they hit their ball into the goal.
Yeah. Touchdown.
Touchdown for the 3-pointers.
I'm here for the pre-gaming, the tailgating.
I'm here for the hot dogs and the garlic fries. That's what it is. The AT&T Stadium in San Francisco, best garlic fries in the world. I'll take you one day, Jen. We'll see a Giants game.
Please and thank you, because I would love that. I really would like some garlic fries right now.
The San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants versus the Chicago Lions. Cubs. I knew it was some sort of animal.
It was, yeah.
And I was like, well, it can't be the Bears because we've seen the Bears already.
The Bears
play
are
football.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, got it.
Orbiters.
No.
Voyagers.
No.
A Space Marine.
Sorry, I got stuck on the Voyagers because Montana has a farm team for the White Sox, and they're called the Voyagers. Yeah. And their mascot is Orbit. His name's Orbit.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, so when you said Orbiters, it made me think of that. And then you said Voyagers, and I was like, oh.
Yep.
Someone from Montana pitched that.
Probably. They probably put that in there.
I don't like it.
I'm sure.
I don't like it. I don't like that.
No. Space Trooper.
No.
See? There's Trooper again.
It sounds earthly.
Space.
Yeah.
Well, Space Trooper, though.
You can't put space in front of something. Just expect it to be spacey. Space car, space plane.
Just wait. We got more space coming. Just wait.
Space cheese.
Orions.
Orions?
Yeah, like the
belt?
Yeah.
Like the
in the sky, the stars.
Well, yeah.
Orions.
Little dippers. The big and the little dippers. That's how you know their rank.
Veronica.
Sorry,
where were you when they were asking for names?
I'm just seeing what sticks now with astrology. Yeah, the black holes.
Oh, God.
Space junk.
Quasar.
Say what now?
I don't know. Quasar. Yeah. Solarian.
It sounds like a fancy room in a French house.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not quite a sunroom, but
a solarium.
You're not quite outside, but you're not quite inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Star-Lord.
Okay. Where's Groot? Where's Rocket? Gamora.
Spaceys.
Species.
They just keep getting better. They really do get really.
Oh my
they just
God.
keep getting better.
Oh, I love it.
Stargazers.
That guy, whoever came up with that, is a hippie. I guarantee you that.
Oh, here we go. AGG, Anti-Gravity Gang.
Oh, whoever did that's so punk. I love it. The AGG.
Earthman.
No, you're in space. What are you talking about? You're gonna go into space. Why are you calling it Earthman?
But they're from Earth.
Oh, so I guess if you're in space, then you'd be called an Earthman. But because you're being called an Earthman by the people on Earth, it doesn't make sense. If the people in space are calling you Earthman, then yes. But this collapsed in on itself.
Floaters. Oh wait, the next one's better. Ready? Floaty Boys. Floaty Boys.
Oh my god! No!
Oh, this one. Someone just wrote geek.
Geek?
Literally, they put in a name, geek.
But what does it mean? What does it stand for?
Because they're telling us that Space Force are geeks.
Oh my god. Nerds.
And then here's yours. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Someone submitted it.
That's badass.
They did. Moon Man.
No, but you're in space. You can't just generalize it to the moon.
No. Rocket Men.
Rocket Man's hot. Not gonna lie.
Here we go. Skywalker.
I like it.
Because of... I immediately went to Star Wars because of Luke Skywalker.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's where Troopers comes in because we'll come around. Don't worry. Okay, here's some good space ones. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Space Case.
No. Space Case?
Space Keepers.
Okay. I'll pass that one.
Space Folk.
No. Folk.
What are you? I'm a Space Folk.
Space Folk.
Starfleet.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that from like Star Trek?
Yes, I just think of like the Star Trek. I think it's Star Trek. Maybe. I believe so. I don't know that I heard that in Star Wars. I don't.
Yeah.
Think. Starfighter.
It's too. You're reaching too hard for that. I'd be like, I'm gonna make a movie out of me.
Stormtrooper.
No, come on.
So here, this is Star Wars, and that's where I can understand the space with the trooper because of Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Blasters.
Let's go back to the floaters. Blasters.
Can we have two names?
Yeah.
Floaters and blasters. Which one are you? I'm a floater.
Yeah.
This one's a blaster.
Yeah. On a mission to Uranus. Oh my god. This is the best. Such good poop humor.
It's in my brain. Homo sapiens. I mean, no. No. I'm taking that out. Sorry. Redo.
Oh, no, I liked it.
I know I was going to do it this way. Homo spacians.
No. I veto that. I'd rather take the floaters.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Helion.
No.
And then, someone literally put in, I do not know.
I do not know. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
they literally put in that.
Look at all the things that are being thrown out there, and you do not know. You could have said anything that you find in space. There were
so many different weird ones. You could have thought of something.
Yeah.
Jetsons.
Well, that's cute.
Legionaries.
Okay.
Loonies.
The Loonies.
I was like, really? Luminaries.
Isn't there a group that sings songs?
Yeah. I feel like, I think so, right?
Yeah.
Lunar stewards.
Lunar stewards? Yeah. Why stewards? Why can't I just say, like, lunars?
I don't know, right?
Lunar people.
This one was funny. This person submitted nothing because you wouldn't hear it in space anyway.
Ah, clever. You little bastard. That's funny.
See, they could have at least come up with something like that.
Smart ass.
No, come on now. Orbit Man.
Again with the orbit.
Yeah. Raider.
I like that one because it's like
I think of
Indiana Jones.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I went to Indiana Jones, like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. Sky Guards.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not bad. Space Avengers.
Oh.
Space Battlers.
Okay. Already declaring war. Battlers.
Yeah.
Blasters.
Speaking of war, Space War Fighters.
Space War Fighters.
Yep. Oh, and then you have just Spacians. Mm-hmm. Star Voyager.
Okay. That's all right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one was really clever and it made me laugh. Stargents.
Huh?
So like Stargents.
Stargents?
Like sergeant.
Oh, Stargents.
But spelt as star first.
Yeah.
Stargents. I was like, okay, clever. Star Trekkers.
Yeah, okay.
Stellar Protectors.
Stellar.
Sunspots. It's like now they're just like throwing out any kind of like somewhat galaxy name that they could find.
Sunspots. They were probably just staring down at their own hands. Oh, look, sunspots.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a name.
Terrestrials.
Terrestrials. Again, you're naming yourself something. You're already on Earth. You can't call yourself that because then you'd be out in space. And then whoever's not... No.
Warlords.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And then another Star Wars reference is Wookiees. I was like, okay.
Oh.
I see where you're going. I like
names.
it. And then the last one I wrote down was 0 G's.
0 G's? It sounds
spelled 0 and then GEES.
Okay.
Yeah.
0 G's.
Very interesting, extremely entertaining.
Yeah.
They had a lot to choose from. Whoever, I forgot who it was that picked the official name, but they had to sort through all of these.
Yeah.
In order to figure out what they were doing.
That must have been fun.
What they were picking.
It must have been fun to be in that room to pitch all these names. Be like, let's see what sticks.
Right.
Yeah. I like Rocketeers. I think that's pretty cool. Rocketeers.
Yeah.
Yeah. How else are you going to get into space? On a rocket.
Right?
Yeah. Rocketeers. So we ended up with Guardians.
So funny.
Yeah. That's so funny. I can't wait to see what this unravels to, this whole Space Force thing and how just what's going to happen with it. I'm excited to.
Yeah.
It was such a joke when it first happened. I was like, oh, this is actually really happening? Like, okay, sure. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here and watch.
I'm curious to know if like they'll do more like missions like in space itself or like finding ways to do more stuff up there, or if it's just going to be them dealing with like being here and using like satellites and figuring that out, or stuff like that. I don't know what all entails with space duties. So
somebody explained that to us. I pictured them like being trained as astronauts and being sent to live in like the International Space Station. I don't know. Somebody tell us, what is the Space Force about? What are our Guardians doing? Yeah. What are our floaters doing? Can you imagine?
What are our floaties?
The floaties.
The blasters. That was so fun. Yeah, floaters and floaty boys.
Floaty boys. Floaty boys. Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Entertainment.
It is very entertaining. We all need it. I need it, Jen.
I do too. I need entertainment. It's been just about a year since all this COVID shit happened, and it's just been weird ever since. And I need entertainment where I can get it, and this is it.
I know. We were talking to my brother-in-law, I think it was yesterday, and we were just talking about all the shows we watch, and we asked him, I was like, hey, did you get to watch Tiger King? And he's like, no. And Kyle and I were like, what? How did you not watch that? And he was like, I refuse. And I was like, it has everything.
What?
Everything in there. I was like, you need to watch it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he might have been giving it, he was going to give it a try. And then we talked to my father-in-law, and he said that he did not like Stranger Things. And he's like, it was like, I watched like 2 episodes. And I was like, what? You can't just judge it on 2 episodes. I was like, it's such a good show. I was like, you just watched 2. He was raising children in the 80s, but he was still really young. In the 80s, you would think he would remember I remember some of the nostalgia and like the movie references and all that. So it's like, how do you not like it? Nonconformist.
I know. I'm like that with some things. Like a lot of time, like like everybody's watching the one show that comes out, and people will watch it like super fast, and then the last day of like at work, like, oh, did you finish this show? And it's like, no, we've watched 2 episodes so far because we don't watch until like later in the evening, and then the kids go to bed and the kids want to watch it with us, so then we have to wait. Otherwise we would totally binge, because it's like when we watch the Night Stalker show on Netflix, we totally binged that within like over the weekend. Or maybe it was just one day. God, probably just one day, but it was so good because, kids can't watch that. So we got to watch that really fast. But everything else is like, we can't watch really fast. Like, we're still watching Mandalorian. We have 1 more episode left, and that came out quite a while ago now.
I haven't yet to see that show.
It's good. My son really likes Star Wars and everything, so we all kind of got into it more. I'd never watched Star Wars before. I didn't think it was that great when I was younger, but now it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't mind it. So The Mandalorian was really good, I think. I mean, it's entertaining. It's a TV show. It's good.
We watched, I'm trying to think, like I said, we watched Cobra Kai and what was the other one that I mentioned? Oh, we were watching The Avengers. I just haven't really like sat down to watch TV. Oh, I watched, I finished the Cecil Hotel documentary.
What'd you think?
It's, I mean, it was interesting. I seriously thought it was going to go into more of the hotel instead of the Lisa Lam story, which was very interesting as well. Like, I found that very interesting. I think the final conclusion was very plausible. What they had said, that she was in a state of like in a manic episode. I totally believe that over the web sleuthing, and they were like, well, I think she was doing this, and this was happening, and the video was cut like this, and I was like, well, we watched it. Well, I watched it. Dave slept through all 4 episodes. We watched one every night, and he was so tired he slept through all of them. But I don't blame him too, because I don't know, like, I wasn't that entertained by it. It didn't catch my attention as much as like other documentaries, true crime documentaries do. And by the end I was glad to know, like, the conclusion on her story side of it, what they think happened and all that, because at first, before not knowing that she was bipolar, I had no idea. Like, sorry, spoiler alert, sorry everyone, if you haven't if you didn't know, sorry. But so it makes sense, right? But I feel like they could have done it in like 2 episodes. It was all her. It was all her. I wanted to hear more about the other things that have happened in that hotel. I want to know the history. I wanted more. I wanted them to delve more into the history of it. They just gave us tidbits of it. And I was like, well, I want to know more. Yeah, they just, like, it was so grand.
It wasn't enough.
So grand, and what happened?
Yeah, they like, because they always said like this things got like weird and it was so mysterious, and this happened and this happened, but it was like, well, I want to know about that, I want to get into that part of it. But I think the whole web sleuth, they had like almost a whole web episode dedicated to like the web sleuthing parts of her story. I was like, I didn't really find it necessary, especially when they figured out that, she had these medical issues and not taking her medication. I don't know, but I was just not as impressed as I thought I was going to be.
There's a guy on TikTok that did a little video. I think it's on TikTok. He lives across the street from the Cecil Hotel, and he talks about the things he has seen since living across the street. Now, the hotel has been closed for years now, right? And he says he will randomly see lights turn on and off, and that he has seen people in the windows. That one time he saw somebody that looked like it was like a dangling body from the ceiling, and he said he was going to call the police, but he's like, the police aren't going to believe me because it's like it's been closed for forever. And he said when he looked out the window again, the light was off and there was no shadow anymore. So a lot of strange things that he's seen, he's been witness to, and I found that really interesting. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, now it's a haunted hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. I watched the Britney Spears documentary before we left the UK. Like, that's all I wanted to do for my birthday. Remember, I was like, I just want to lay in bed and watch this documentary and drink my coffee. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And that's all I did. It was a great birthday. Yeah. And I was like, this is how I feel the way people are feeling about Britney Spears is how I feel about Paris Hilton. And I've always felt like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've always felt like
really?
that about her, because I was like, she was kind of thrust into fame this way. Like, I don't want to say she doesn't have any talent, because but she didn't have anything to offer the media other than her looks, and that she was a socialite. And then she had the sex tape that was leaked. And so just the way that she was scrutinized, and then when she got the show, and then just the way that, I don't know, the way that people are seeing Britney Spears now is how I have always seen Paris Hilton. I was like, I want to hear about her story. And now that it came out that, like, she was, abused at that place in Utah, that boarding school in Utah. So I want to know more about her story and her upbringing.
That would be a good one. Yeah,
I know,
we heard
right?
so much about Britney that I didn't even know. I didn't even know half of the shit, because I was young and, such a fangirl and all that. Even now, I was like, I didn't even realize everything she was going through.
Well, that's just it, Jen, is she's such a cash cow to this industry that they didn't care who she was. I mean, they cared who she was. That was it. They didn't care about what she was going through. They're like, you're going to put this album out, and you're going to do this, and you're going to look like this, and you're going to act like this. And that is that.
Yeah. I know, and that, it's so funny, because I used to watch Paris Hilton's TV show with Nicole Richie all the time. Oh my God, she was, I started to not really like her, because she was so, this, ditzy, and, they portrayed her like such a, weird, she can't take care of herself, can't do anything for her own. She's just this rich girl that doesn't do anything, type of act. And so that's how I saw her all the time.
And that to me has to be an act. I never
felt bad.
Right. No, but it has to be an act. Just like Jessica Simpson and her whole, playing stupid all the time.
Yep.
And it's like, that can't be real. Like, that cannot be real. This is a person who has, they've built empires. Both, with Paris Hilton, when she has her, her perfume line. And I mean, she's fucking filthy rich. And so she's a personality. And she's built this empire from being a personality that she cannot be. There's no way that she's dumb. Jessica Simpson, look at her. Look at everything that she's built, too. There's no way that she is dumb. People have dumb moments, and it happens, and then it gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
So.
I know. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how it is, and you don't really know until they have a documentary like that on their life, or what was it, the You're Wrong About that you had told me about with Jessica Simpson's book and stuff, and they went into the whole thing, and it was I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even believe all the stuff that Jessica Simpson was doing. And then it was just, it blew my mind.
That scene in Newlyweds, I never watched the show, but I remember that scene in Newlyweds with the whole chicken of the sea tuna thing, when she's like, is this chicken or is this fish? And the interaction between them, it made me laugh, because he was just the way he was looking at her, and her face was like, don't even start with me. It was funny, right? But then hearing it on You're Wrong About, that podcast, just hearing it without the visual, I was like, oh my God, he was such an asshole. Why did he do that to her? Why wasn't he just no, it's fish. Why did he react like that?
Yeah.
And you know what? The whole thing with, I'm going to say it right now, the whole thing with the Justin Timberlake and the Britney Spears and the Janet Jackson, and saying that Justin Timberlake needs to apologize. I'm like, what for? Somebody explain that to me. Why does he need to apologize? He was an asshole.
Yeah.
He was an asshole. But it's can we move on from it? You know why I think that way? Because he did apologize, and they're still scrutinizing him. And I was like, then why ask him to apologize if you're not going to accept his apology? I don't understand. Why can't they just leave him alone and be like, whatever, he's in the past. We know he's an asshole. You just keep pumping out your music. It's great. Leave it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who cares what happened? It affects what happens now and everything, stuff that happened in the past is the reason why things are the way they are. But I mean, what he did was, it was really shitty, and he should have never done that back then. he should have known better, but he was just, whatever. He's new, he's young, he's new in this whole industry of whatever.
Yeah.
All this new stuff that they're doing, and it's the relationship. So whatever, it's fine. Like, now it's like, yeah, sure, he was an asshole. Okay, let's move on to the more important part of what's going on with her life and how to change that.
This is the whole cancel culture that we're going through,
Yeah.
Listen, we need to acknowledge the things that have happened in the past that have been wrong. We need to acknowledge it because it was how things were founded. But we need to move on from them. We can't pretend like it didn't happen. We can't say, we're going to cancel this. We don't want anything to do with that, because that in of itself is exactly what they're trying to prevent. Certain people are trying to prevent, being like, we want to recognize this happened instead of this happened. So we're going to cancel this out because they canceled us out or whatever. Why can't we just move forward? Let's just move forward from here. Acknowledge what happened. It was bad. Let's not repeat it. You can't erase the past. You can't, you can't pick certain songs and not listen to them, or TV shows or whatever, whoever said this, because people, because we've all said stupid shit, and we're continuing to say stupid shit that may not sound stupid right now, but 20 years down the road, it's going to be very offensive in some way. So let's just learn from the past and move forward instead of trying to erase the entire past and not making the future any better. You're not.
It's true. And you're just... And what I hate is, like, shaming people for things that were said in the past. Like,
yes,
we didn't have the mindset back then when something came up like we do now. Of course, we understand, like, when you say something offensive about somebody, yes, that's completely wrong. Should it ever been said? No. Back then, though, there were different times. Like, things were just different, Things were said, things were done. I mean, it's just like wars. Like, you don't want to go through a war again. I don't want to go through another Holocaust. We saw what happened to that repercussion. And yes, Holocaust is real, everyone. And
it happened.
Concentration camps. Like, come on, people. But we're not trying to... what are we going to do about that? We have to go back and ask them to, like, oh, please, can you please erase the entire war? It never happened.
No.
Thousands of people never lost their lives over a war. Like, no, come on, no. They did. But we learned how to grow from that and be better and not do what was done to start all of that. So
we need to acknowledge it.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to get into the... Never mind. I don't want to get into the politics.
I know.
Never mind. I was going to say something else, but it's okay.
Here we are.
It's okay. Jen, that's enough politics for today.
I know.
Really, for the whole year. We got a little political.
Sorry, everyone.
We said we weren't going to do that. No, we don't care. We don't care who you vote for. We don't care who you voted for. As long as you respect the people around you and you respect yourself and spread love and happiness, it gets you a long way. It gets you far. I promise. Spread positivity, not your negativity.
Exactly. Please do that. You know how you could spread the positivity around our podcast? You could email us at dependisplaining@gmail.com and share your positivity with us.
Yes.
Share all the good stuff that's going on everywhere.
Or your negativity. Share your bad day and we will put a good spin on it. We will pick out all the good things from your story.
Yes. And we'll make it happy.
Yeah.
In a way. Unless it's true crime. And sometimes we just can't recover from that.
No. I think this one was at least had funny elements to it. Or, elements we can make fun of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So do that. Spread your love. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can spread your love and positivity there too by liking, subscribing, rating, and sharing our episodes with all your friends and family and strangers. And, anyone. Anyone. We're here for you.
Give us 5 stars, please.
Yes, please.
Yes. I do apologize for my audio. I'm in a room that doesn't have furniture, so it might echo. Also, there's like jets flying overhead, and my husband is still watching the Avengers, and the volume is out of control. I'm sorry, Jen, for your editing.
It's okay.
Soon I'll be somewhere else.
Somewhere else. You'll be in another room.
In another room.
Next time. Next time you'll be in a new room. Mm-hmm. It's like every time we do this, you're in a new place.
Just hopping around.
In a new room.
I'm a time traveler. Yeah. Yes, this is true. Just hopping around like a gypsy.
Yes.
Living out of a suitcase. Why didn't I pack shorts? Jen, tell me why I didn't pack shorts. You know how hot it is here? It's warm. No. Well, it's like in the 70s, so it's warm.
That's warm.
For someone who just moved here from the UK, during snowing time. But I was like, why I need my clothes while I'm still in the UK, to keep warm. So I packed like jeans and stuff that I was going to wear. And then I was like, I need shorts. So I have one pair of pajama shorts that I've been wearing outside too. I was like, well, this is all I have. And send me shorts at dependusbleeding@gmail.com. Send me a pair of shorts, please. Okay,
yes,
Jen.
Please.
Great. Well, thanks, guys, for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And don't forget to email us and send us your stories. And remember, we asked for some military-related secrets. We're still waiting on you guys to send us some of those so we can read them anonymously. And then, great. Jen, take it away.
Do that. Make sure you do all the things for us because we love you. And it just helps us out so much. So get on it. And, wherever your mind takes you, if you're a floater, it's okay. Enjoy the floating.
Enjoy the floating.
Your floaterness.
Blast you through outer space.
whatever your name wants to be. If you're floating, fly high into the sky, into space. Just remember, wherever you go,
there you are.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.